Hey there, hope you're doing well. I am in a new space here, so please excuse the unfinished audio soundproofing space behind me. I do have a little plant over there, but the studio is new, as you may or may not know, and it is not finished yet. The lighting still needs adjusted, a lot of things, but I wanted to make a quick video to kind of christen it and really, just because this is what I'm thinking about. This just happened all at once to be kind of the topic of today. And I want to give you some insights on something that I have thoughts on. And that's what I do here. So, the idea of being a web design agency, a freelancer that knows web design and development, what does that mean? Why are we still doing this? Is this something that, I think you should still be doing? I have a lot of thoughts around it. I'm just going to try to give those out as quickly as possible here. I'm going to start with the premise of that if you are currently a web designer and developer and you are not offering marketing services, you can do that, but I would seriously consider broadening your skill set and your horizons. You have to become more than a web designer and a developer. Now, I'm not saying that let me take that back. You don't have to do anything, okay? You don't have to do shit. So do whatever you want. However, I'm going to tell you from my experience. In my experience, I have provided design services and development services, and I'm definitely not even a designer, but I'm able to put together those types of things, take inspiration and do all that. And I'm able to create websites for clients that they're very happy with. Perfect. The problem with that is that there is a very, very defined ceiling with that service. You could continue to build things, but if you don't have the mindset of constantly, and you might not have this at first, but if you do not have the mindset at some point of, wow, my clients do X, Y, or Z service or provide a product or whatever, their goal as business owners is not to just have a pretty website or have even a functioning website. I mean, those are important, but they're not the goals. The goals are to make money. So at some point, you're going to have to realize as a web designer and developer that the people that you're servicing, the one thing that they actually want is to make money selling the service or product that they offer, which is probably not anywhere near web design. It's probably not a technical, maybe it is, but you know what I mean? It's probably like a lawyer, plumber, something like that. So if you don't keep that in mind, and this sounds simple, but I mean, a lot of times, depending on where you start and the types of clients you have, it can be hard to remember. If you don't keep that in mind and you don't try to focus on those types of services at some point, what is going to happen to you, as it's happened to me, it's happened to me recently, that's why this is top of mind, is that you will, this is absolutely what will happen to you, okay? You will be providing web design services. Maybe you'll even be managing the website and doing the hosting and stuff like that, right? But you're not providing ROI tangible. They're ROI positive in some ways, but not tangible, directly correlated ROI positive services. If you're not providing that, then somebody, some firm, some other agency will come to that client of yours and be like, "Hey, are you guys working on paid ads? Are you working on organic social SEO? Don't even get me started on SEO in 2025. We'll talk about that in a different video. But are you working on any of these things? Are any of these ROI positive driving forces, marketing, digital marketing services?" And they're gonna be like, are we working with so and so on that? Our web guy? No, I don't think so. Okay, yeah, what do you guys got? And then they're gonna pitch them on some shit that, I'm not saying is bad. Again, these are all like really heavy topics all in here, but I'm trying to explain to you what's gonna happen to you. Is that that will happen, and it's even getting more of the wild, wild west with the ways these things are actually, again, the services are actually being provided. But that will happen to you if you are only doing web design and web development. Because if you're only doing that, then you have, again, no tangible ROI value to most businesses like that in their mindset. Again, so you have to, like, just from personal experience, if you don't do that, then they're going to be like, well, these guys are offering us these things that they're saying, like, we're going to get you this many leads or this many conversions or what have you for this amount of money per month. Sign here and we'll make it happen. Different topic for a different video as far as that goes, because I want to make this short, but that will happen to you. And then what's going to happen is this is going to happen next. Those people got in the door, foot in the door with the thing that's ROI positive. And then what's going to happen is you are no longer going to be, you're going to become difficult to work with. Not because you're a difficult person to work with, but your position in that arrangement, that little three-way, is not going to be advantageous for you. Here's why. You can have a website without having marketing services. Many people do. Not advisable, different topic. Okay, but you can do that. Can you really have marketing services without a website? Sort of, yes, kind of. But what's ultimately going to happen is that if you start doing pay-per-click ads, or if you start doing meta ads, or the company, another company starts doing that for your client, this is exactly the conversation that's going to happen. Well, hey, Mr. So and so, Mrs. So and so, client, business owner, we're doing everything's going great. There's a lot of we're seeing a lot of traffic. We're seeing a lot of organic reach. Your profiles on random directories are getting clicked on a lot. Here's the thing, though. In order to actually make this run better, like our system run better, for you to actually convert more, we need more control, and we need to build more funnels. Okay, so they're gonna build that. All that fucking means is that they're doing the outside, like the offsite SEO. Okay, they're doing that shit out at all the different platforms and all this sort of other stuff, and they're even like doing Google optimized stuff. Slight rant, kind of bullshit if you're not touching the website. Like, I mean, it is all out there. It's important, but if you haven't touched any of the website, and like you as the owner of that relationship, the web part, if you haven't, nobody's in there playing with anything or optimizing anything, then it's not really optimization of the website. It's optimization of the brand, sort of, to a degree, outside. But anyway, back to it. The reason they want that control, and they want that actual control of the website, is because it does make sense. If I am building something for a client, right, now that I know more and I do these types of things, maybe you know more and you get into this mindset of marketing, then you're like, okay, your website is your hub of everything. Your website is the thing that we build initially that's like maybe more of a brochure marketing type style, but ultimately it's actually going to drive marketing in. How are we going to do that, you say, though? What does that mean? Well, there's a bunch of different ways, but let's stick to the example we have here. If these guys want to do pay-per-click or something like that, they need a place to take the visitors. You can do it different ways. There's a lot of people doing it different ways because they don't want to get into this bullshit of this three-way weirdness here. But ultimately, they have really two options. I'm simplifying. There's two options. Get access directly to the main domain of the website, or build their own system, their own funnels on some sort of other system, funnel building, website builder, whatever. And now you have this weird disjointed thing going on that honestly is never advantageous, doesn't do anything good for domain authority. It's silly because now you're driving traffic to some random funnel builder URLs or something like that. It's stupid, okay? It's stupid. So it makes total sense that they get their foot in the door with the marketing services, and then they backdoor their way into getting access into the website game, and they backdoor themselves into potentially getting management of website or rebuilding the website or whatever, and taking it from you, the person that's only operating in that agreement as a web designer and developer. I hope you haven't had to deal with that, okay? But if you haven't, and you only do the development and design stuff now, you're going to have to deal with that. Because now, even more than ever, and I mean, again, there's too many other conversations going around in my head right now as far as like what that industry is even going to look like moving forward. But the best way that I've found so far, take this advice or leave it, I don't care. But the best way that I've found so far is to keep that in mind. And sometimes, I'm not lying to you, I'm not fucking perfect. Like I have had this problem. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Because I forget that sometimes. And I'm just like, oh, let's just collect our management fee, make sure the website stays up, all that sort of stuff. And then it's like, this is not going to be sustainable, because at some point, at any point, somebody's going to knock on the door and they're going to offer. I'm not shitting you here. They're going to offer a ridiculously shittier service, potentially, not all, but potentially a shittier service. The client is going to get sold into that. And then now you lost money. Probably the client is going to ultimately end up with potentially a worse experience depending on who they just bought that from. And nobody's going to win. And it's just going to be a bad situation. So if you can look in the mirror, like I'm looking in this Elgato prompter right now, which is sick and I need to utilize more because I just put it up. If you are looking in the mirror, okay, and you can honestly tell yourself that I'm a good web designer, I'm a good web developer, whatever you categorize yourself at. I build good sites. I also want to make my clients money. Then you have to go focus and really double down onto like marketing services, digital marketing services, ROI positive services. Slight caveat, even though it's off topic. even automation optimization services, okay? Some sort of service that is ROI generating or money saving, which is ultimately ROI generating, right? Something that's either more optimization or more growth, more revenue, more leads, more conversions, whatever. You have to do that. If you're not doing that, you are fucked. I'm just going to say it. Seriously. Like, there's no way that the world persists and society continues to persist with that being the thing, because everybody, I see live streams, I see videos, everybody's worried about, Lovable, Bolt, all these different things, making websites and stuff. We're going to talk about it in other videos in this beautiful studio, but like, that is the least of your concerns if you're not worried about the other stuff. Like, you already have things like taking the design and all that sort of stuff and the development out of the game. At least get ahead of it. So it's like, at least your big bargaining chip is, I care about your actual business and I want you to succeed. So work with me. And I'm going to help you generate things. I'm going to help you generate revenue via services that actually do that. So I want to end this by saying, again, take this advice or leave it, whatever. Please leave your comments if you disagree. If you disagree, I want to hear you more in the comments. If you agree, I'll take those too. But this is just from personal experience and from the things that I've learned, the mistakes that I've made, and I'm just trying to verbalize those and have a conversation with you, because I just like doing this and I like learning, trying, sharing everything that I do. So if you thought any of that was good, let me know. If you disagree with any of it, let me know. But these are my genuine thoughts as of May of 2025 here. And the world is changing super fast. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's breakneck speed right now. And if we can learn these little lessons and keep these in mind, then hopefully, we can move forward and all continue to be successful and service our clients and make money, because we need to do all that. So that's all I got. Quick little short one for you today. I'm going to try to do more of these because these are fun. Let me know what you think. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll talk to you in the next one.